All right, so here we are, Monday morning, the day after IRONMAN Cairns 2026. And as you've seen from the thumbnail, my day didn't go as planned. So unfortunately, it's my first, did not finish since the Triple M Ironman back in Sydney, 1986 or somewhere thereabouts. I can't remember the exact year. So I've done hundreds of triathlons since then, and I've managed to finish them all, even if it was sometimes walking. So to actually have to withdraw from an event was a little bit heartbreaking, to be honest, and especially given all the training I've put in and the season that I've had. And I felt like I really was where I needed to be for this race, apart from as we've spoken about a few times, the little calf niggle that I've had over the last few weeks, which during the race itself ended up turning into what I can only think would be a tear. But we're booked in for physio tomorrow afternoon after we fly back into Brisbane, and we'll have that assessed then. Initial assessment was done out on the course by one of the lovely Ambos, and she sort of said that she feels it's either a grade 1 or a grade 2 tear, and that if I continued it, I'd probably end up requiring surgery at some point. So I decided to let the ego go and step off the course. So anyway, the day itself, just to give you a little bit of an update, wasn't too bad. I'm based down here in the main city of Cairns, so the day started off with literally walking down and catching one of the shuttle buses up to the race start, which is about a 30-40 minute drive, well, bus trip, not so much drive, up to Palm Cove. And Palm Cove itself is, to be honest, a rather interesting place to hold a race start. There's very limited parking up there. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful spot. Don't get that wrong. But I'm not sure it's an ideal place to be holding an event with so many people, and I felt for the locals a little bit as well, but we won't get into the politics of that. The water, it was very, very choppy swim. I'd planned on swimming about an hour to an hour 5 based on the training that I've done. And if you followed this journey, that training, literally I was only doing 2 swims a week, knowing that I'd rather have a bit of a slower swim and putting that effort into the run at the other end, given that the swim's only such a small part of an Ironman. So I ended up swimming an hour and 7 on the conditions. And when I say it was challenging, it was, it was very up and down swell type challenging, a few little white tops off the top of the swells. There were times when you'd be swimming along and you'd look to your side and there'd be someone, literally an arm's length away, and next thing you know, they've been thrown over and literally on top of you in the swim itself. So that was rather interesting. So coming out of the water, I'm told that I managed to put myself in 3rd position in my age group, which is that 50 to 59 age group. So I came out, I felt like I swam very controlled. I felt okay even though the conditions were like they were. I felt good on the run across to through T1 to the bike, picked up the bike, and then as I was running out to the mounting line of the bike, my calf just went completely. It was like someone had shoved a knife into it. I thought, well, you know what, there's only one thing to do from here is jump on the bike and see if we can ride it out. So like every triathlete, we hope and we think that it might get better with time. So the first hour on the bike wasn't too bad. It was sore, but then it progressively got worse to the point where every time I stood up to go up one of the hills, it was like someone was shoving a knife in. So we turned around down at the other end, up at Mossman End, and then we pushed into a fairly substantial headwind right back to literally Ellis Beach. And it was literally like going uphill for that whole time. And once we got to that Rex Lookout and I had to get out of the seat to climb a bit, it was even worse than before. And by the time I went over Rex Lookout, that trip between Rex Lookout and Ellis Beach, I could no longer put any pressure on that pedal. So I made the call then and there, as hard as it was, to jump off the bike and see first aid, who then referred me across to the lovely people at Queensland Ambulance Service. who assessed it and said, look, you're gonna do some major damage if you continue, and you're probably going to require surgery. So time out, and sat on the road for a few hours and waited for the old sag wagon to come. And as we ended up naming it, a few of us that were in that vehicle, the sad wagon, brought us back into Cairns itself. So what I did notice was the amount of crashes out on the course. I don't think I've ever, and I'm not sure if it was because I was sitting there for that time or whatever, but there was so many crashes through the feed zone, which was literally just across from me in Alice Beach, but up a little bit further. Apparently there was some diesel on the road as well, which that one spot had about 5 people crash within a few minutes, so that wasn't real good, and I feel so sorry for them to end their day on that point. So anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, that's it, and I thank you for watching. I'll give you an update when I know more about the calf. As I said, I'm booked in tomorrow afternoon when we fly back into Brisbane with the physio to have another assessment. So thank you for watching this far, and if you've subscribed to the channel, obviously thank you. If you haven't, you know the drill, and as usual, guys, stay safe out there until next time. Cheers.